Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. It is 4:38 a.m. Central, 5:38 a.m. Eastern on your Saturday morning, January 10th, 2026. And we have got some big thunder out there this morning across portions of Alabama. We have a brand new tornado watch that's just been issued for portions of Central and East Alabama, even over into West Georgia. And we have a tornado outbreak underway in southern Mississippi. I'm going to go through all of this morning and bring you up to speed, especially you folks over in Talladega, St. Clair, Shelby. You're being rumbled out of the bed this morning with some really, really big thunder and extremely heavy rainfall taking place on the southern end of Birmingham, back over toward the eastern side there on I-20. All of that's moving off to the northeast, but some incredible lightning output and heavy rainfall occurring there around Pelham, Alabama, and then back over toward Leeds. Big thunderstorm rolling through right there. Nothing severe at the moment. And then we have another big thunderstorm down in Autauga County in central Alabama that the National Weather Service has just issued a special weather statement for. That's this storm moving out of Prattville now, moving into Millbrook and approaching Wetumpka, just north of Montgomery. This storm is also not severe, but it's setting out there by itself, and it has shown signs of trying to rotate. So the Weather Service issuing a special weather statement on that particular storm just north of Montgomery that is racing off to the northeast. That's going to end up over here in Tallapoosa County. Probably eventually, if it holds together, it'll end up in Chambers or maybe southern or southeastern Randolph in the next hour or so. So we're really watching that storm very closely as well. Going to zoom out and kind of show you the overall picture. And as it was when we left you about 5 hours ago, we still have a mess across the southeastern United States with scattered heavy thunderstorms. And we have really what now appears to be a rather significant severe weather outbreak taking place in southern Mississippi. All of that's going to rotate into southwest Alabama and continue to move to the northeast on your Saturday morning. So we are going to be really paying attention to this line of storms as it makes it into Alabama in the next hour or so. We do have at least one confirmed tornado on the ground here in southern Mississippi, and that is going to be for a thunderstorm. Let me get zoomed in a little bit closer here. This is going to be for a tornado-producing thunderstorm near Collins, Mississippi. This has been confirmed. We do have a debris signature on this storm, so we know that we have damage taking place. This is for Jefferson Davis County. Well, Jefferson Davis County has been canceled. Let's see. All right, so a tornado warning remains in effect until 5:30 a.m. this morning for southeastern Covington and northwestern Jones County in southern Mississippi. At 4:41 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Collins, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. And then we have another warning. There's a lot going on the radar here, so bear with me. That's the watch. So that's going to be the warned storm near Collins, Mississippi. There have been, that's just to the west of Laurel, Mississippi, for those of you who know where that's at. And then another tornado warning just to the north of Heidelberg, Mississippi. This is a tornado warning remains in effect until 5 a.m. for southeastern Jasper County. At 4:29 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Heidelberg, or 15 miles east of Bay Springs, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. If you know folks who live down there in Mississippi, call them and make sure they're awake. It's still early in the morning over there. And do your part. Be a hero. If you have friends or family that live anywhere near Laurel, Mississippi or Quitman, Mississippi, get on the phone. Wake them up. Make sure they're aware of what's going on over there. And you see that line stretches really from York, Alabama, all the way down through Laurel, Mississippi, and then it continues to the southwest, really all the way to Baton Rouge. So all of that's got to move through South Alabama, and the northern extent of that will probably make it through central Alabama and eventually across East Alabama. Now, that's still a couple of hours down the road, so there's plenty of time for that to change. Zoom back out. You can see where that new tornado watch is located, and I'm going to put that graphic up on the screen for you. And there's the new tornado watch that was issued in the last 30 minutes for portions of the southeastern United States from northwest Georgia all the way into southern Mississippi. In those areas there where you see the yellow, a few tornadoes are possible this morning. Hail, isolated up to half-inch size, is possible. Scattered wind gust of up to 70 miles per hour is possible. And that goes until 10 a.m. this morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. And I'll be brutally honest with you. This watch, which is posted by the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, is a little bit further north than I anticipated. Honestly, I thought that it would probably make it to the I-85 corridor and then points south. But the Weather Service of the Storm Prediction Center has posted this thing a little further north than I anticipated. And it's because we have a warm front draped right across central Alabama. And right along that warm front is where the focus may be for stronger thunderstorms and potential rotation in some of these storms in the next several hours across Alabama. So we're going to have to kind of watch this thing. We're going to be spending a lot of time together this morning, keeping you updated on what's happening across Alabama. Now, at the moment, we have no warnings across the state of Alabama. The only warnings we have are over in Mississippi, and it looks like that Collins tornado has just been replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's good news. We do still have, it looks like, one tornado warning down there. So that tornado that once was confirmed and on the ground has been downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning, which is still significant. But it's not like we have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now. I see a question over there in the chat room about traveling to East Alabama Medical Center in Opelika from Bacon Level. Let me zoom in. Okay, so Bacon Level's right there just to the southeast of Roanoke, and of course Opelika is down here. The only thing in the area of any concern right now is this storm coming through central Alabama, north of Montgomery, crossing over 231 down there around Wetumpka. And the northern extent of that makes it all the way up into Coosa County, just to the west of Alexander City. And that storm is going to be moving off to the northeast. Let me just kind of turn some things on here and kind of give you an idea the direction of this storm. So it's moving in this direction, okay? It eventually will cross over 431, which is the route you would take from Bacon Level to Opelika. But it's probably at least an hour away from crossing over 431. So, if you leave in the next 20 minutes or so, I think you'll be able to make it to Opelika before this crosses over 431. Understand this storm is not severe at the moment, and it's that storm right there that I'm talking about. It's not severe. It is a strong storm, but it's below severe limits, and actually, we had a special weather statement on that storm, but the Weather Service, I think, let that go. Let me go back over here and make sure. I've got all of my, yep, they're on. But to generally answer that question, I don't see a reason to leave right this minute, but you might want to leave a little sooner than you had planned on leaving to make sure you can get down there before this stuff moves across. And who knows, by the time it makes it over here to Chambers County, 431, this may weaken. There's just no way to know. All right, let's start from the top and go through this and kind of show you what's going on out there. We have some heavy rain now in Cleburne County up there along the I-20 corridor, and that stretches from just north of Carrollton all the way down to about Ranburne, and then down into North Randolph County, and all the way back to Lineville. This is moving in this general direction. So all these storms are moving off to the northeast this morning. Raining heavy this morning up there in Cedartown. Heavy rainfall taking place in Tallapoosa. We have heavy rainfall all the way down to Lineville. And when I say heavy, folks, these storms this morning are, the rain rates on these storms are running anywhere from 1 to an inch and a half per hour. That's tropical in nature. It's almost like a tropical storm. When we have these very heavy showers move through, then things will calm down. Then 20, 30 minutes later, we get another very heavy band. Some of these locations have already picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain from all the rain we've already received. And then this morning, we're getting these very heavy bands move through, where another 1 to 2 inches certainly plausible. Some locations may end up with 5 inches or more before all is said and done. And even though it does look like the tornado threat maybe has increased a little bit across central Alabama, east Alabama, west Georgia, I still think flooding is the primary threat with this weather system that we've got out there today. Then we'll go back over toward Birmingham. This is just a monster over here. I mean, we don't have a warning on this storm, but I will note that between Hoover and Alabaster, right there at Helena, we most likely have got some flooding taking place. I'm just looking in the National Weather Service chat room. I don't see any discussion about that right now. But I would be awfully surprised if we don't at least have some street level flooding taking place here. Up there around the Galleria, Highway 31, 459, all the way back over to the 280, 459 interchange. That area is flood prone, big time. And typically when we see rains like this, we also see water rescues that take place in some of the low-lying areas there on Highway 31 near the Galleria. The good thing about this is it's Saturday morning, so we don't have the amount of traffic or the volume of traffic that we typically would see there in that flood-prone area just south of Birmingham. Still a mess, though, and you can see there's a lot of lightning, over 100 strokes of lightning in the last 3 minutes just in this frame that we're looking at right now. Then we'll come back down to this Elmore County storm. And this is a relatively small storm, but it's sitting out there by itself. And so that's why we're really paying attention to it. And it has shown some signs of trying to rotate. At the moment, it doesn't look very well organized, but it reaches from Alexander City all the way back down to Wetumpka. And it is continuing to move off to the northeast also. So that's going to continue to move directly over Lake Martin. You folks there at Wind Creek State Park, Bama Park, all of the resorts around Lake Martin, this storm is going to move directly over you. So if you happen to be tent camping, you need to seek shelter. If you're in a RV or a camping trailer, you need to pay very close attention to this and be prepared to go to a place of safety in the event that this storm were to be upgraded to a warning. Right now, it doesn't look like it's approaching severe limits, but again, it's moving into some more unstable air here, so that could change relatively quick. So if you're over here at Lake Martin or anywhere outdoors across southern Coosa, Tallapoosa, or Elmore, especially eastern Elmore, be prepared to take cover if this thing were to ramp up. Then we zoom back out. Really not a whole lot happening in South Alabama right now. Just some scattered showers here and there, most of it very small in nature. We go back over into Mississippi. Big storms now from Columbus, Mississippi, stretching down to Philadelphia, Mississippi. And again, we have the main area that we have seen so far this morning that has been producing severe weather is this area. And right now we have one tornado warning right here. And we have a second tornado warning right here. And so we've gone back to tornado warning on this Collins storm in Mississippi. A tornado warning remains in effect until 5:30 a.m. this morning, so that's about another 36 minutes for southeastern Covington and northwestern Jones County. This is in south central Mississippi. And then we have a second warning a little bit to the northeast of the first one. And this is a tornado warning for southeastern Jasper County. And that one's in effect until 5 a.m. So we've only got about 5 more minutes on this warning. But I want you to note the lightning output here. Look at all those lightning icons. That's pretty incredible. At this particular moment, which was at 4:35, about 20 minutes ago, in this frame that we're looking at right now, there was 1,300 strokes of lightning between these two storms. We go current, excuse me, and the lightning count has come down a little bit. It's still at 1,000 strokes in the last 3 minutes between these two storms, which is still pretty incredible. But that's over in central and southern Mississippi, and that is going to rotate through southern and central Alabama. over the next several hours. This stuff is moving in this direction. And that is the reason the Storm Prediction Center has issued a tornado watch now that stretches in Alabama, from southwest Alabama, just north of Mobile, all the way up into east Alabama, and then even a few counties into west Georgia through 10 a.m. this morning. It's going to primarily be for this line of storms coming out of Mississippi. So this is where we want to pay our attention to. This is the area of this storm system that we really want to watch this morning as it comes out of Mississippi and moves towards central Alabama. There's no reason to stay up if you're in East Alabama right now. I think our severe weather threat will increase over the course of the next couple of 2 or 3 hours. But for the immediate future, I don't think there's anything. In the next hour or two, I don't really see anything to be concerned about. Again, we have no warnings in the state of Alabama for any of these storms. I think that comes, if it happens at all, it comes a little bit later on this morning. Tiffany, there's no way for anybody to tell you whether or not I think there will be a tornado in Roanoke. That is awfully specific. All I can tell you is that the overall conditions are conducive for the possibility of a small, quick spin-up tornado, and that risk will increase in time, probably another hour or two, and will be at our highest risk, and then that will continue through about 10 a.m. this morning. This is not a classic severe weather setup for Alabama and Georgia. This is a marginal risk. This is not a red letter setup. This is not going to be one of those days where we have tornado warnings left and right all over the place. But here's the deal. All it takes is for one tornado to develop on your street, and it is a big deal to you. So you don't have to have multiple tornadoes all over the place for it to be a bad day. So that's why we're very careful in these type setups not to minimize it, even though I want to make sure you understand this is not going to be a major event. There is a risk, but it's not a great risk of seeing severe weather across Alabama and Georgia today. But it is worthy of being situationally aware and understand your surroundings and have a plan in the event that we do get a warning for your particular area. Hey, Sharon, I'm okay with you guys staying at home and hanging out with me today. I like that. Cheyenne, I can't tell you if it's going to die down before it hits West Georgia. I mean, right now, the atmospheric conditions are such that storms may remain strong as they move out of Mississippi into Alabama and West Georgia. But that's a long way off. They've still got a ways to go to get to West Georgia, the stuff in Mississippi. So we're going to have to kind of watch this in real time and tweak the forecast as we go. Good morning, William. William from Dadeville. It's pronounced Dadeville. Hey, William from Dadeville. Kingston, Tennessee. Overbuilt Automotive. Good morning, Overbuilt. Good to have you in here with us on Dr. Don's Weather. If you're not familiar with Dr. Don's Weather, we've been at this we've been at our social media broadcast now. We're in our 8th year, believe it or not, with our live streaming broadcast. I've been covering weather on social media longer than that, but with our live streaming broadcast, we're in our 8th year for East Alabama and West Georgia. Many moons ago, I spent many years in East Alabama and West Georgia in broadcast radio and television. And we started doing this about 8 years ago. So that's our story, and we're going to stick to it. No, you do not need to take shelter in Daviston. There are no warnings. We are under a tornado watch in Daviston, which is valid until 10 a.m. Central this morning. And remember what a watch means. It simply means that conditions are favorable for severe weather in and close to the watch area. And in this particular case, it's tornado watch. So it just simply means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms and or storms producing tornadoes in and close to the watch area. So a watch means you just simply need to watch out, be prepared, think about where your safe place is going to be in the event that you do go under a warning, which, of course, a warning means it's happening. And you need to take shelter. So you don't need to take shelter unless you go under a warning. There's Remy. Good morning, Remy. You got my coffee ready? Y'all, I got me one of them cappuccino deals. What does the lattes and the cappuccinos? All that fancy stuff. And it is it's a pretty amazing machine. Of course, I don't do all that stuff. I do a double shot. I grind my own beans, and then I pour a double shot, and then I fill it up with water. And that's what us Americans do. Americans. And make coffee out of it. Boy, it sure is good. Good and strong. Way I love it. Cool. Cool beans. So the plan here is that we are just going to kind of watch this together this morning. Hopefully we have nothing of any great significance to discuss as we go along the way, but really concerned about this stuff down in southern Mississippi and whether or not it's going to hold together into Alabama. And so the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma is concerned about that as well. And that would be why they have issued a tornado watch that most of you are waking up to this morning. This is a new watch that was posted about an hour ago. And it's in effect until 10 a.m. this morning and basically stretches from Carrollton, Georgia, all the way to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And it cuts right through East Alabama, Central Alabama, Southwest Alabama, back into southeastern Mississippi. Places like Birmingham, Gadsden, Carrollton, Alexander City, Montgomery, all under this tornado watch until 10 a.m. this morning. It does include, in the Dr. Don coverage area, Cleburne, Calhoun, Carroll, Tallapoosa, Clay, Randolph, Hurd, Tallapoosa, Coosa, Elmore, Montgomery, and Autauga, and Chilton, and all the way back into Birmingham. Basically, if you're looking at the screen, those counties that are highlighted in yellow are the counties that are covered by this tornado watch until 10 a.m. this morning. Overbuilt Automotive has posted a very, very, very good comment there. Everybody, especially those of you folks who have weather anxiety, should read that and heed what it says. I agree 100%. But now also let me say this. The good Lord gave you a brain. and you should use that brain and utilize the power of that brain to keep you and your family safe during such times as severe weather. There is no reason to fear. Look, weather was happening when the light switch was turned on, and weather's going to be happening when the light switch is turned off. It's part of what we do here on planet Earth. Without weather, we couldn't survive. So it is nothing to fear. It's the awesome power of Mother Nature and the good Lord above. But you do need to utilize the brain power the good Lord gave you and plan. Have a place to go. Be situationally aware during times of severe weather. Most people who get injured or lose their life in severe weather are those who had absolutely no idea what was happening around them. They did not have a plan. They stayed in that mobile home during a significant tornado outbreak, and they didn't prepare. And that's when most injuries and fatalities occur in severe weather. Now, if you plan, you think ahead, you have a plan to go to a safe place, whether it's in your home or if you live in a mobile home, you're going to evacuate to a neighbor's house across the street or maybe a relative's house across town. And you do that in enough time before the severe weather gets there. And that's part of being situationally aware. That's why you got to be able to read a map. That's why you've got to be able to understand, at least in general terms, what a radar means, what it's telling you. And take personal responsibility. Don't wait for me or the government to tell you what to do. It's not rocket science. You just have to pay attention and take a little bit of self-motivation and learn just a little bit about how weather works. And you can protect yourself and your family. And you increase your chances 1,000% of surviving during significant severe weather outbreaks. Today's event's not going to be a significant severe weather outbreak. But again, like I said a few moments ago, that's relative speaking, I guess maybe is the best way to put it, because all it takes is for one storm to hit your front yard, and for you, it is a significant severe weather outbreak. Banda Cafe. Boy, I can smell them biscuits. Good morning, Miss Audra. Good morning, Phoenix City. Good morning, Roanoke. And I got to tell you, folks, the number one thing you can do, I mean, the absolute number one best thing you can do to help protect yourself and your family is to invest in a NOAA weather radio. Best $35-40 you will ever spend in your lifetime. If you're within driving distance of Roanoke, Alabama, go to Stevens Home Furniture. They got them. If you're not within driving distance, then check your local department stores. Most of them carry the NOAA weather radios. There was a time those things were kind of finicky and kind of hard to program. Not the case anymore. They pretty much program themselves. Matter of fact, the only reason you need to program one is if you want to remove some of the counties in your area so that you don't get every alert that comes across the radio. If you're watching us here on Dr. Don's Weather and you're a regular viewer, then you're probably somewhat of a weather geek, just like I am, and you're okay with getting all of those warnings. That lets you know what's coming at you. So there's very minimal programming to set these radios up. And here's the beautiful part about it. I get this question all the time, especially when we have these overnight events. Do I need to stay awake? Do I need to stay up all night? And as the weather moves through, I get this question. Can we go to bed now? Can you tell Woodland to go to bed? If you have a NOAA weather radio and you just need to get some sleep, then go to bed. That thing will wake the dead. And then you can go to your safe place. Get you a NOAA weather radio. That is the baseline of being prepared for severe weather. You can't take action if you don't know about something. And that's how you get the best heads up weather information. So I'm getting a note from the National Weather Service that flash flood warning is in anticipation of the increased rain rates moving into downtown Birmingham, as well as the 459 corridor. So they had some flooding in downtown Birmingham yesterday, and it's beginning to look like they may have to pull the trigger on another flood warning. As a matter of fact, I've got a polygon here that's just populated. Let's see. Well, look at there. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a flash flood warning for southeastern Jefferson County in central Alabama and central Shelby County in central Alabama until 8:15 a.m. this morning. About 10 minutes ago, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 1 and 3 inches of rain have already fallen, and additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible. Flash flooding is ongoing or is expected to begin shortly. This area inside the green polygon here, and that is that area that I was talking about just a few moments ago, basically from Alabaster to North Birmingham and all the way over to Leeds. This includes Birmingham, it includes Hoover, it includes Pelham, Helena, all of those areas now under a warning, a flood warning this morning. Just not a good idea to be driving into that area. And if you had plans to go to Birmingham this morning from East Alabama, I wouldn't do it. Look at I-20, it's a mess. And 459's a mess, and now we have reports of flooding taking place in Birmingham. Now, this is going to move east-northeast, so it's going to continue to move in this general direction. I know you folks over here in East Alabama are thinking that's coming your way, but the system itself is slowly moving east, but this individual storm that's producing this copious amount of rain is moving off to the northeast. So maybe from Gadsden to Anniston, you need to be mindful of this complex of rain that's moving off to the northeast. If you live anywhere between Gadsden and Anniston, we're talking about places like Center Point, Raglan, maybe Jacksonville, Springville, Argo, Leeds, Steele, really between that I-59 and I-20 corridor. Heads up, you got some really heavy rainfall headed your way, moving off to the northeast. Over here in Georgia, I mean, look at this thing. This is from Cedartown all the way down to about Carrollton, and it just really isn't moving very quickly. I mean, there you go. I'll rock the volume scan back and forth, and you can kind of see that we have very heavy rainfall on Georgia 27 from Carrollton all the way up to Cedartown, and that's moving right out I-20, Bremen, Temple, probably Villa Rica. Really heavy rainfall out there on I-20 this morning. And that stretches all the way down to Bowden. Up here in the northeast Georgia mountains, not a whole lot happening right now. We have an occasional tropical downpour out there. There's Dawsonville, you know where the outlet mall is on the north end of 400. There's Dahlonega. Here's Helen, Georgia. We do have a heavy downpour up there in Helen right now, but none of this is severe. These are all just small, heavy rain showers that's taking place up in the northeast Georgia mountains. We're still watching this little thunderstorm that is now in Tallapoosa County, basically from Alexander City down to just north of Wetumpka in Elmore County. That's moving off to the northeast. And that thing tried to spin on us a little earlier this morning, but it has really calmed down in the last 30 minutes or so and really hasn't shown any indication of trying to rotate in the last 30 minutes. And then back in Mississippi, this is where the show is right now. And this is the primary reason we have that tornado watch for central Alabama. It's all of that. And all of that is moving in this direction. And I think we definitely will see the tornado watch that's currently in place probably shifted a little further to the east in the next couple of hours, probably to get most of South Alabama. And even those of you up here in East Alabama that are currently not in the tornado watch, you probably will be in the next couple of hours or so. But over here in Mississippi, this is where all the action's taking place right now. We have a tornado-warned storm. The tornado warning, let's see if we can find the verbiage here. Yeah, for about another 11 minutes, we have a tornado warning for northwestern Jones County. About 3 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Laurel, Mississippi, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. And that's it right there. There's Laurel, Mississippi, and your potential tornado is right in here. Let's see if we can get a look at this. That's pretty noisy. Let me find. Yeah, let's go to the Jackson radar. Yeah, so that's not a real classic look right there. I mean, I think there is certainly evidence enough to continue with the warning. We've got about 30 mile per hour outgoing and about 20 inbound. So there certainly is evidence enough that we've got a rotating thunderstorm right there. And that's going to move to the northeast. It's probably going to skirt just north of Laurel, Mississippi. But if you know anybody who lives over there, make sure they're aware. I mean, look at the wind, whether we have a tornado or not. Look at the wind up here. Oh my. That is more concerning than the possible tornado to me. And I'm not so sure that energy is not trying to transfer, and we may end up with something up here. There's some outgoing around 50 miles per hour and inbound at about 30. Now that's very broad. That's more of a straight line wind event that's taking place right there. Then the potential tornado is going to be down here just to the west of Laurel, Mississippi. And for now, that is the only warning that we have in the state of Mississippi. Now, there are multiple flash flood warnings, all those green boxes that you see. All the green boxes that you see are flash flood warnings. But that's the only tornado warning that we have right now. We do have one confirmed report of tornado damage in Carson, Mississippi. That's in Jefferson Davis County, Mississippi. And right now it looks like mostly trees and power lines on Alex Daly Road. Looks like some roof damage as well. If you know anybody that lives in Sandersville, Mississippi, or Heidelberg, Mississippi, I need to get them on the phone and make sure they are aware that we have a potential tornado moving in their general direction. Sandersville at 5:45 a.m. and Heidelberg at 5:53. Also, just I think the storm's going to go a little bit north of Laurel, but just to be on the safe side, Laurel, Mississippi, and Chibuta need to take cover. There's the overall look this morning. It's pretty ugly out there. We've got rain stretching from Texas all the way to Virginia. I'm going to go back to the composite so we can see the entire. There we go. Put that in motion so you can kind of get a sense for the direction all this stuff's moving. Billy brings up an interesting point. Billy's talking about we haven't seen a lot of sun today. You know, occasionally we have those weather systems where that really doesn't matter. And that's what we're dealing with this morning. There are times, more times than not, we don't want sunlight because that destabilizes the surface, the atmosphere at the surface. It ain't going to matter this morning. I mean, it's cloudy, it is rainy. We're not going to see much sun, and it's not going to matter because we have veering in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So that is not going to be a major factor in all of this. Just because we don't get much sun, that's not going to make a big difference. The purple box is a tornado watch. That purple box that you see that stretches from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, all the way into northwest Georgia, that is a tornado watch. And yes, Billy, it is just a watch at this point. The only ongoing severe weather that we have right this moment, other than some flash flood warnings around Birmingham, is a tornado warning and some severe thunderstorm warnings in Mississippi. All of that is moving in our general direction. But at the moment, we have no warnings in the state of Alabama other than that flood warning up there around Birmingham. If you're just joining us, it is 5:31 a.m. Central, 6:31 a.m. Eastern on your Saturday morning, January 10, 2026. We pretty much went through our entire fall severe weather season with nothing. And here we are, mid-winter, talking about potential severe weather this morning. Just goes to show that even though we typically see the bulk of our severe weather in the spring and during early fall, it can happen on any given day of the year here in the southeastern United States. And so here we are on your Saturday morning looking at a pretty complex setup where we have a warm front lifting to the north off of the Gulf of Mexico, and we have a cold front coming in from the northwest. And where those two air masses collide, we're getting some upper level shear, which means basically the jet stream and the different levels of the atmosphere are moving in different directions, and it kind of causes that spinning motion up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that could make some of these thunderstorms start to rotate. And anytime a thunderstorm rotates, there's always the possibility it could produce a tornado. Now, this is not a classic setup for East Alabama and West Georgia. This is not anticipated to be a red letter severe weather day. But there is at least a slight chance that we could see a handful of storms become severe or produce a tornado. So that's why we're here this morning. That's why the Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, has issued the tornado watch that goes until 10 a.m. this morning Central, is because there is that chance. It is not a very good chance, and it's not going to be a widespread thing. But there is a chance. So that's why we're here this morning talking to you and letting you know what is going on out there. Elaine, I've been doing it for 63 years. So when I get in the zone, I'm going to forget and call it the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to happen. But we know it's the Gulf of America. Thank you, Billy. I'm going to be back in Randolph pretty soon. I'm talking to going to be working with Stevens Home Furniture. I want to come down and do a live from Stevens Home Furniture, probably sometime in March, as we get into our primary severe weather season, and push those NOAA weather radios. So I think that'll probably be our next visit to Randolph County, Roanoke, sometime in March. And then, of course, we have our annual hurricane party, June, somewhere around June 1st at Boondocks. We'll be in town for Bike Hike in May. So we will be back in the county here multiple times in the next few months. I'm going to step aside and take a break. But I'm going to leave the stream up. I'll leave it streaming. I'll leave the radar up. And when we come back in just a few minutes, and if I forget, somebody remind me, we'll talk about what we think is going to happen over the next week or so. There's a lot of folks out there on the internet talking that S word. And I'll tell you my thoughts on all of that when we come back after a quick break. You're watching severe weather coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia, 5:45 a.m. Central, 6:45 a.m. Eastern on your Saturday morning, January 10th, 2026. Dr. Don in here with you on your Saturday morning as we continue to watch for the potential of some severe weather across Alabama, potentially up into East Alabama and West Georgia. We have a tornado watch that was issued about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, for a good chunk of central Alabama over into northwest Georgia and West Georgia. And so we are here watching together to see if we get any severe weather development. Right now, we have no warnings across Alabama or Georgia other than that flood warning that was issued 30 minutes or so ago for central and southern Birmingham, Jefferson, Shelby, St. Clair, for some copious rainfall amounts that they received there in a short period of time. We got about 1 to 3 inches last night in the Birmingham area, and then again this morning. So some areas around Birmingham could have a total of around 6 inches of rain so far. And so that has prompted the Weather Service to issue that flood warning. And that very heavy rainfall is moving away from Birmingham now, but you'll look downstream, and there's more very heavy rainfall that's going to be moving into the Birmingham area. So their issues are going to continue. And that heavy rainfall band there is moving right out I-20. So it's taking on a little bit more of an eastern push than I thought it would. So you folks over here in Anniston, Oxford, heads up. You got some really heavy rainfall crossing over the lake there at Pell City, and it's moving in your general direction. Nothing major happening across East Alabama right now. We've got that one thunderstorm complex there moving into Wadley, and then back over southeastern Clay County near the mountain community, and that stretches down to around Dadeville on 280. That thunderstorm had a history of rotating earlier this morning when it was down around Prattville, Millbrook, and Montgomery, but since that time, it has not shown any signs of going severe. Well, the only severe weather we've had so far this morning has been down here in central and southern Mississippi, from Meridian all the way back to around Laurel, Mississippi, and then to Macomb, Mississippi. That is the area of the greatest concern right now, and that is going to move up into southern and central Alabama over the course of the next couple of hours. We have had multiple tornado warnings in southern Mississippi. However, at the moment, I think we're down to just one severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to be for this storm that has had a history of rotating, which is now just north of Laurel, Mississippi. Take that back. We do have a tornado warning for central Clark County and east central Mississippi until 6:30 this morning, so about another 40 minutes or so. At 5:48, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Goodwater, or 13 miles southwest of Quitman. This is in Mississippi, not Alabama, and the storm is moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So that's going to be this area here. And that is part of that same system that has just moved through Heidelberg. So that is, we do have a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning there in eastern Mississippi. So those are the only two warnings that we have in Mississippi at the moment. But you can see this line is pretty significant. It means business. And let me do this. I'm going to take the watch box off. That will clean things up a little bit and make it a little easier to see. where the warnings are. And again, there's Mississippi right there. There's your tornado warning, and then there's the severe thunderstorm warning. If this storm holds together, and it has been holding together pretty good now for several hours, it will eventually end up in West Alabama, somewhere west of Butler, Alabama, between Gilberttown and Butler, which is over north of Mobile. A tremendous amount of lightning in this storm that's already in West Alabama, coming right along I-20, just to the west of Demopolis. All right, so before I took my break, I said that when I came back, I'd talk to you a little bit about what is going to be happening over the next week or so across the southeastern United States. This is a pretty strong cold front that we have moving in. And then we also have a warm front lifting up off the Gulf of America. And so that's what's causing this mess this morning. Eventually, we get the back end of this through here later on this morning, and it pushes all of the rain out, and then the temperature starts to fall. That's the way this works. There's a look at the 6-day forecast. So we have a 90% chance of showers and thunderstorms through about noon-ish today. Our high temperature today around 70 degrees, and we'll achieve that number around noon or 1 p.m. The temperature starts to fall this afternoon. We head for the upper 30s tonight. Then on Sunday, maybe a little drizzle tomorrow morning. But look at the difference in the temperature. About 22 degrees colder for your daytime high on Sunday versus this morning. So we'll only make it to the upper 40s across East Alabama and West Georgia on your Sunday. And then it's off into the deep freeze. 26 your overnight low Sunday night. Very cold Monday morning. But we will be much closer to normal temperatures for this time of year as we head towards Sunday and Monday. We'll maintain low to mid 50s for daytime highs on Tuesday and Wednesday. Overnight lows will be in the upper 20s Monday night, and mid to lower 30s on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then here comes another cold front that'll be in here Wednesday or Thursday, somewhere in that time frame. Timing is still not very good on this next storm system. And there are a handful of models out there that are trying to suggest that we might see some precipitation Wednesday, Thursday-ish, that could line up and come through during the coldest period of that time, and there could be some snow showers or flurries. Now, what you look for this far in advance is consistency among the ensembles of the different models out there, and there's not high confidence agreement out there yet, but we are beginning to see some of the ensembles try to kind of suggest a scenario where we could see some frozen precipitation Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. It's not a forecast. By no means am I telling you it's going to snow next week. But what I am saying, and the only reason I'm mentioning it is because those folks who go after your click-throughs on social media are hitting this thing pretty hard. And I want you to understand that that's not a forecast. That's just model output, which is used to formulate a forecast. But in the southeastern United States, especially in the wintertime, those medium and long-range models are worth 2 cents in forecasting, especially when it comes to specific winter weather information. They're pretty good for overall patterns or signaling that there's going to be a pattern change in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. But as far as specifics about snow or ice, they are not very, very accurate at all. So you're going to see all that on social media today. And I just caution you to take that with a grain of salt. And do not, for you snow lovers, don't get all excited and then start screaming at the weather folks when it doesn't happen. Because that's just the way it works here in the southeastern United States. It's not supposed to snow here. So that's the forecast moving forward. We'll go back to the radar this morning, and there you go. Very heavy rainfall moving out I-20 from East Birmingham, headed toward the Oxford-Anniston area. Very heavy rainfall along I-20 from Bremen all the way back to Cobb County. They're just north of Atlanta. We have a relatively weak shower moving up into southwest Randolph County out of Tallapoosa. The heavy stuff happening west of Birmingham now, all the way back to Tuscaloosa, Columbus, Mississippi, Aliceville, Alabama, which is right there on the Alabama-Mississippi state line, right down the I-20 corridor, back down to Meridian. And we continue with a tornado warning there in Quitman County, just south of Meridian in extreme southeastern Mississippi. And that tornado-warned storm is approaching the Alabama-Mississippi state line and will be moving into southwest Alabama soon. We'll wait and see. Are we about to catch our first tornado warning in the state of Alabama this morning? It is possible. And for those of you who may be just joining us, the reason we're here is a new tornado watch that has been posted by the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, in coordination with the local National Weather Service offices across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And this watch is in effect until 10 a.m. this Saturday morning, January 10, 2026. A few tornadoes are possible. Isolated hail up to half-inch in diameter and scattered wind gust of 70 miles per hour possible within the area that you see, within and close to the area that you see depicted here on this graphic. This is not a significant severe weather outbreak event for the southeastern United States. I think there's more of a flooding threat than there is a tornado threat, but the tornado threat does exist. That's the reason we have the watch, and that is the reason we're here providing you with wall-to-wall coverage. We're really kind of watching this thing together to see how this is going to evolve this morning. I'll tell you that looking at the upper level wind profiles and all the data that we have seen coming into the studio here in the last hour or so, the ripest atmosphere in the areas that'll be primed the best for the possibility of a few quick spin-up tornadoes will be inside of that area I just drew on the map. Now, that's not to say that you're in the clear up here in Randolph and Clay, and that's not to say you're under a high-level risk inside the white area that I just drew on the map. The point I'm trying to make is the best energy for these storms to work with once they get out of Mississippi and get over into Alabama right now appears to be inside of that box I just drew on the screen. Weather Service is talking about over here in West Alabama. One of the things you want to watch for when we have these lines of storms that develop are what the Weather Service refers to as kinks in the line. And we do have a couple of those. We have a kink right there. A little bit of a kink there, and we have a kink down in a little further to the south. And so the Weather Service is keeping a very close eye on these areas here, because if you were to get something to rotate, it most likely would be in one of these kinks. And the reason it looks that way is because that's where you get the inflow. You've got energy coming up from that warm front that's lifting north from the Gulf of America that is pulling inbound moisture up into these little kinks along this line. So anywhere you see these little indentations or kinks, those are areas you want to pay close attention to for the possibility that we could get some rotating activity in those areas. Little Weather 101 for you. We always try to do that to help you better understand what you're looking at when we do live severe weather coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. We'll switch over to the velocity on this. I'm going to leave the MRMS and go back to the next rad. And we'll switch to base velocity. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's some outgoing 60 mile per hour winds, and here's some incoming 20 mile per hour winds, and that's right there along one of those little kinks in that line. So the Weather Service not ready to pull the trigger on anything, but they're watching this area just in case. Then you go back over here to where we know for a fact we have a tornado-producing storm, and boom, there's no question there. There's just some 30, 40 mile per hour inbound, and then there's just some 50, 60 mile per hour outbound. So no question we've got rotation right there. Now, whether or not this storm is actually on the ground. Okay, yeah, we do. We have a confirmed tornado here. At 5:55 a.m., a confirmed tornado was located near Goodwater, or 8 miles southwest of Quitman, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. This tornado is on the ground. Take cover immediately. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, Move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So this is a confirmed tornado on the ground just to the southwest of Quitman, Mississippi. And that is moving off to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So if that holds together, and it's a pretty good-looking signature, that's going to end up over in West Alabama, somewhere between Needham and Butler. So if you know anybody who lives in West Alabama, anywhere near Lisman, Butler, Needham, along Alabama State Route 17, even up here in Pennington, you ought to call them and make sure they're aware of what's going on. This tornado is going to move in this general direction, probably crossing 17 somewhere between Needham and Butler in West Alabama, southwest Alabama. And understand, you folks down here at Gilberttown, sometimes when a tornado is moving to the east or northeast, if it gets strong enough, it can take on a right-hand turn. Meaning that if you're down here around Gilberttown, you need to pay attention to this, because even though it's on its present course, it'll probably move north of you. If it starts to take that right-hand turn, then it could come a lot closer to you. So always remember that. When you've got a tornado that looks like it's going to move to your north, you can't let your guard down until it passes you, because sometimes these things can take a right-hand turn. Remy, this is way, way, way yonder away from you. Nowhere even remotely close to Beans Mill. This is over in Mississippi. But it is about to move into Alabama over on the southwest side of the state. And it's part of an overall complex that will continue to sweep across central and southern Alabama throughout your Saturday morning. No reason up here in Opelika, Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, Beans Mill, or anywhere across East Alabama or West Georgia, no reason to be concerned about that particular storm over in East Mississippi. Now, what you do need to be concerned about, at least to the point where you stay aware of what's going on, is this entire line as it sweeps across central and southern Alabama. We'll have to watch this together as the morning progresses. I'm going to switch back to the Birmingham radar, which means we're not going to be able to see these southern Mississippi storms quite as well. Okay, that's not a good phone call. As you guys may or may not know, I am the division chief for White County Public Safety, and our 911 center has just lost power, and our emergency generator has not activated. It's failed as well. So I'm going to have to end our live wall-to-wall coverage at the moment, and that's okay because there's nothing threatening East Alabama or West Georgia at the moment. hopefully I can respond and get this problem fixed and then be back with you guys before any of that severe weather gets into East Alabama or West Georgia. Now, if you want to continue to watch the radar, all you have to do is go to our 24 Forever live stream on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Dr. Don's Weather 24 Forever. What you see here on the screen with the alerts at the bottom and the radar is available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can do that. Hold on, another phone call. Maybe this is good news. Okay, that was my battalion chief. Let me know he was on his way to the center as well. So I got to get out of here. I've got to go take care of that. Go follow us over on Dr. Don's Weather 24 Forever, and I'll be back as soon as I can to continue with our live coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thanks for joining us.